This audiobook reveals the spiritual physics behind the truth that money obeys energy, responding not to effort but to the frequency you embody. As you listen, you'll discover why abundance flows only when you master the sacred art of allowing. Step into this ancient wisdom and watch how wealth begins to move toward you with effortless certainty. Money obeys energy. Introduction. Beyond the veil of the visible world lies an ancient law, one older than time, yet pulsing quietly beneath every moment of your life. It is the law that binds consciousness to abundance, energy to manifestation, and spirit to wealth itself. What you hold now is not simply a book, but a relic of forgotten wisdom, a key to the hidden mechanics by which prosperity is born and sustained. In the cosmic rhythm that governs all things, money does not obey need, fear, or longing. It obeys energy. Just as the tides answer the pull of the moon, wealth responds to the vibration you embody. Those who align with its frequency draw it effortlessly, while those who grasp or chase find it slipping further from reach. This truth has echoed through temples, mystery schools, and the silent teachings of sages. Abundance begins not in action, but in resonance. The universe hears not the voice of your desire, but the tone of your being. When your energy contradicts your words, the universe follows your energy. Only when you shift your state of consciousness does the outer world rearrange itself to match. Every thought you send forth about money travels as a signal through the infinite field that surrounds you, calling forth its matching form. Many wander through life believing wealth must be earned through struggle and sacrifice. Yet the highest teachings reveal a gentler, deeper truth. Money is condensed energy, shaped by the frequency you emit. It comes not through force, but through coherence, not through striving, but through surrender to the natural abundance already flowing toward you. Within these chapters, you will learn to dissolve the dense vibrations of scarcity, fear, and unworthiness, and to replace them with the luminous energies of gratitude, confidence, and inner knowing. You will discover that allowing is more powerful than effort, and that alignment summons more wealth than any struggle ever could. This is not a journey of doing, but of becoming. Not a path of pushing, but of opening. The abundance of the universe stands ready, not to be chased, but to be received. Step forward now into the sacred science of wealth consciousness. Your energy is the gate, and the gate is ready to open. Before we get into the book, comment, "I am ready," to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. The Frequency of Allowing. Chapter 1. The Silent Command of Desire. In a village among rolling hills lived a young woman named Daisy May. Each morning she would stand at her window, gazing at the distant mountains, and proclaim her desires to the universe with passionate intensity. "I need abundance," she would cry out. "Please send me wealth." Her voice would echo across the valley, yet her purse remained as empty as before. Day after day, she pleaded more fervently, believing that if she could only make her voice loud enough, the universe would surely hear. But with each desperate cry, prosperity seemed to drift further from her grasp, like leaves scattered by an autumn wind. The universe responds not to the volume of your voice, but to the resonance of your being. When you call out in desperation, you amplify the very frequency of lack you wish to transcend. Your words may speak of abundance, but your energy broadcasts scarcity. Consider the gentle stream that flows through the mountains. It does not demand its path. It finds it. It does not force its way through stone. It flows around it. This is the way of universal energy. Money, like water, responds not to force, but to allowance. One evening, as Daisy May walked through the village square, she heard the soft strains of a violin. There sat Thomas, a street musician, his eyes closed in peaceful contentment as his bow danced across the strings. His case lay open before him, filled with coins, yet he played not for money, but for joy. People were drawn not by his need, but by his peace. "How do you make it seem so effortless?" Daisy May asked him after his performance. Thomas smiled. "I stopped trying to make the music come to me. Instead, I became the music itself." In this sacred teaching lies the key to abundance. When you cease to chase, you begin to attract. When you release the desperate grip of wanting, you create space for having. The universe responds not to your requests, but to your resonance. As night blankets the sky, settle into the stillness of your being. Let your breath become smooth and steady, like the gentle current of a peaceful river. In these quiet moments before sleep, when the world grows silent, whisper to yourself with the softness of falling snow, "Money hears me when my heart is calm." Let this truth sink into your consciousness, becoming part of your energetic signature until dawn breaks anew. This practice is not about reaching outward, but settling inward. It is in this space of tranquil certainty that the seeds of abundance take root and flourish. Chapter 2. The Mirror of Worthiness. As you walk the winding paths of this ancient wisdom, let the story of Clara June illuminate your understanding. In a quaint corner of an old market street stood her antique shop, its windows filled with treasures from bygone eras. Yet beneath the polished surfaces and vintage charm lay a truth she dared not face. Her relationship with abundance mirrored the very items that surrounded her. Beautiful, but gathering dust. Each morning, Clara June would arrange her displays with meticulous care, touching each piece with reverence while harboring an inner apology for asking customers to pay their worth. Her energy spoke of unworthiness before she uttered a single word about price. The universe, ever faithful to the law of attraction, responded in kind. Customers would admire, but rarely purchase. You see, your physical space serves as a mirror to your inner landscape. When clutter fills your surroundings, it speaks of emotional debris blocking the flow of abundance. When items sit forgotten and unappreciated, they reflect the parts of yourself you've deemed unworthy of prosperity. One dawn, as sunlight filtered through her dusty windows, Clara June received a flash of understanding. She began to move through her shop with new awareness, cleaning each item not just with cloth, but with intention. "You are enough," she whispered to a tarnished silver bowl. "You are valuable," she affirmed to an aged oak cabinet. With each blessing she felt her own worth rising, like morning mist lifting from a valley. As her energy shifted, so too did the shop's atmosphere. The space began to radiate a subtle luminosity that drew people in, not just to browse, but to connect. A traveler named Samuel entered one afternoon, his eyes lighting up at the transformed environment. He spent hours exploring every corner, expressing genuine gratitude for each item's history and beauty. His appreciation amplified Clara June's newfound energy, transforming her shop into more than a store. It became a sanctuary where objects and energy danced in harmony. The universe responds not to what you sell, but to how you value yourself. When Clara June released her apologetic energy around money, abundance flowed naturally, like a stream finding its true course. Remember this truth. Your space reflects your relationship with prosperity. Each item in your possession carries the vibration you assign to it. As you bless your belongings, you bless your capacity to receive. Morning practice. As the first light touches your window, choose one object in your space. Hold it in your hands and whisper your blessing upon it. Feel its worth, its beauty, its right to exist in your space. Through this simple act, you declare to the universe, I am worthy of treasures. I am worthy of abundance. I am enough. Chapter 3. The River That Forgot Its Source. In the depths of the universal wisdom lies a truth as old as time itself. The way you approach abundance shapes how it flows to you. Let us explore this truth through the tale of Henry Lee, whose story mirrors the journey many souls undertake on their path to understanding prosperity's true nature. In the heart of a bustling city, Henry Lee had built his architectural practice through vision and dedication. His designs graced the skyline, each building a testament to his mastery. Yet, when the natural ebb of business arrived, fear crept into his heart like shadows at dusk. As projects grew scarce, Henry responded as many do, by pushing harder against the current of life. His days stretched longer, his nights shorter. Each unanswered email felt like a personal rejection, each quiet phone a harbinger of scarcity. The more desperately he reached for success, the more it seemed to slip through his fingers like water. The universe whispers this truth. When you strain against life's natural rhythm, you create resistance that blocks the very abundance you seek. Your effort, though born of determination, can become a barrier when infused with fear and urgency. The law of attraction responds not to your actions, but to the energy behind them. As Henry's anxiety mounted, a chance encounter led him to reconnect with Jiang Wei, his first mentor in architecture. Over tea in a peaceful garden, Jiang Wei shared wisdom that would transform Henry's understanding. "The river," Jiang Wei said, watching a stream meander through the garden, "never worries about its course. It does not force its way through rock, it flows around it. When it meets an obstacle, it does not fight. It simply finds another path. Yet it always reaches the sea." This truth resonates through the ages. Prosperity flows like water, not through force, but through finding its natural course. When you release your grip on how abundance should arrive, you open countless channels for it to reach you. Henry began to understand. He stopped pushing against the quiet periods and instead used them for reflection and refinement. He rediscovered the joy that had first drawn him to architecture. As his energy shifted from desperate action to peaceful allowing, something remarkable occurred. Clients began to return, drawn by his renewed sense of ease and creativity. Your relationship with abundance mirrors Henry's journey. When you cease struggling against the current of life, you align with its natural flow. The universe has not forgotten you. It simply asks you to trust its timing and wisdom. To embody this ancient teaching in your daily life, practice this ritual. Find a quiet moment each day to envision yourself as a river, continuously fed by an infinite source. As you breathe deeply, whisper these words: I am continually supplied by Source. Feel tension dissolve into tranquility as you remember that abundance, like water, cannot be forced. It can only be allowed to flow. Chapter 4. The Secret Language of Gratitude. In a quiet afternoon, Milton Ray reached into an old jacket pocket and found a forgotten silver coin. In that instant, rather than dismissing it as mere pocket change, he felt a surge of pure joy wash over him. The coin gleamed in his palm, and with it came memories of all the times money had appeared exactly when needed. Instead of rushing to spend it, he held it reverently, thanking the universe for this small reminder of perpetual supply. Through Milton's experience, we glimpse a fundamental law. Gratitude multiplies wealth with far greater speed and certainty than worry multiplies lack. When you pause to appreciate the flow of abundance, even in its smallest forms, you activate an ancient principle. What you bless increases. The universe responds not to the size of what you have, but to the magnitude of your appreciation for it. Each time you acknowledge abundance, you strengthen its current. Each moment of genuine thankfulness becomes a magnetic force, drawing more reasons to be thankful toward you. Consider now the tale of Sophia, a baker's daughter, who learned this wisdom in her own way. Each morning before dawn, she would enter her father's bakery and perform what others saw as a strange ritual. Before mixing any dough, she would touch each ingredient, the flour, the salt, the yeast, and whisper words of thanks. "Blessed be this flour that sustains," she would say. "Blessed be this salt that preserves." Other bakers laughed at her practice, but they couldn't deny that her loaves seemed to carry a special quality. Customers would travel from far away specifically for Sophia's bread. Soon, the bakery's fortune multiplied, though nothing had changed except her gratitude. What Sophia understood was that appreciation is not merely a response to abundance. It is the very soil from which abundance grows. Her gratitude transformed simple ingredients into vehicles of prosperity, just as your gratitude can transform ordinary moments into portals of possibility. These stories illuminate a profound truth. When you shift from seeking more to blessing what flows through your life right now, you alter the very fabric of your relationship with abundance. Gratitude doesn't just change your perspective. It changes your energetic signature, making you magnetic to greater prosperity. The ancient practice. Before each meal, pause for a sacred moment of recognition. Close your eyes and whisper thanks, not for what you wish to have, but for what moves through your hands in this moment. Feel gratitude for the plate before you, the table that holds it, the roof above. This practice isn't about the future. It's about blessing what is present now. Through this daily ritual, you activate the eternal law. What you appreciate, appreciates. Chapter 5. The Currency of Integrity. Along the bustling streets of a thriving marketplace, Alden Brooks moved with practiced charm, his words flowing smooth as honey. His sales techniques brought quick profits, but each coin earned through clever half-truths seemed to slip away faster than it arrived. Though his bank account would swell temporarily, an unseen force appeared to drain his prosperity as swiftly as morning dew vanishes in sunlight. You see, Every word carries a vibration into the universe. When your speech aligns with truth, it creates a crystal-clear channel through which abundance flows freely. But when you bend reality, even slightly, you create resistance in this divine current. The universe responds not to our words alone, but to the pure energy behind them. Alden discovered this wisdom through painful experience. Each embellished story about his products, each exaggerated claim, created a subtle distortion in his energy field. While his customers initially responded to his persuasive pitch, the universe responded to his underlying frequency. Money came, but it never stayed. Success appeared, but proved unstable. This universal law reveals itself with mathematical precision. Truth attracts lasting wealth. Deception repels it. When you speak with complete honesty, you align with the fundamental frequency of creation itself. This alignment naturally draws forth abundance, for truth and prosperity share the same vibration. Consider now the tale of Sophia, a humble potter whose studio sat at the edge of an ancient village. She crafted each piece with devoted attention, speaking openly about both the perfections and flaws in her work. When a pot emerged from her kiln with slight imperfections, she would point them out to potential buyers, reducing the price accordingly. To her amazement, this transparency did not drive customers away. It drew them closer. They began to seek her out, not just for her pottery, but for her integrity. Her reputation spread beyond the village, bringing merchants from distant lands. More than this, unexpected opportunities arose. An art collector discovered her work and commissioned special pieces. A teaching position opened at a prestigious craft school, and fellow artisans sought partnerships. The universe had recognized in Sophia's honesty a clear channel for abundance. Her truthfulness created a resonance that attracted not only material wealth, but also deeper forms of prosperity, trust, respect, and enduring relationships. These stories illuminate a timeless truth. Honesty is not merely a moral choice. It is a vibrational key that unlocks the vault of universal abundance. When you align your words with truth, you create a magnetic field that naturally attracts wealth in all its forms. Sacred practice. As each day draws to a close, find a quiet moment for reflection. Ask yourself, where was I fully authentic today? Let this question guide you to examine your words and actions. Feel the power of inner transparency as it polishes the mirror through which money recognizes your light. This daily practice will gradually align your energy with the pure frequency of truth, opening channels for prosperity to flow unimpeded into your life. Chapter 6. The Song of the Wallet. In a small apartment overlooking the city, Pearl Ann slammed her wallet shut, muttering harsh words at its perpetual emptiness. With each frustrated glance, she reinforced a pattern as old as time, the energetic rejection of the very abundance she sought. What escapes most souls walking this earthly path is a truth both simple and sacred. Money, like all energy in the universe, responds to the vibration you emit. When you curse your wallet, scorn your bank account, or speak ill of your financial state, you create an energetic barrier that wealth cannot cross. Your relationship with money mirrors any other relationship in your life. It thrives on respect, flourishes with appreciation, and multiplies through love. The moment you shift from resistance to reverence, the universe begins orchestrating a new dance of abundance. Through the winding streets of an ancient city lived a wise teacher named Maya, who understood this principle at its deepest level. Her modest home contained little, yet prosperity seemed to follow her naturally. Each evening she would remove the bills from her purse, both fresh and worn, and lay them out with tender care. "Thank you for your service," she would whisper, smoothing their edges. "You are valued here." Even the coins received her blessing. Those who witnessed this ritual often smiled, thinking it strange. Yet they couldn't deny that Maya never lacked, despite her humble profession. Money flowed to her with an ease that seemed almost magical, though there was no magic involved, only the pure resonance of appreciation. Your wallet, purse, or bank statement is not merely a container or record of numbers. It is a sacred vessel for energy exchange. When you treat these symbols of abundance with disdain or fear, you send ripples of resistance into the universal field. But when you honor them, you align with the natural flow of prosperity. The coins that leave your hands carry your energy signature. The bills you spend hold the imprint of your consciousness. Every financial interaction becomes either a blessing or a barrier, depending on the frequency you maintain. Ancient practice for abundance. Alignment. Choose a quiet moment each day to hold your wallet, purse, or bank statement. Feel its presence in your hands. Breathe deeply and speak these words with genuine feeling. You are welcome here. Let this simple practice become your daily ritual of receptivity. As you maintain this energy of acceptance and appreciation, watch how the universe begins responding to your new frequency of abundance. Chapter 7. The Field of Invisible Farmers. A gentle breeze rustled through an ancient marketplace where Tobias Kent sat with his head in his hands, the weight of his failed investment heavy upon his shoulders. He had poured his savings into what seemed a promising venture, only to watch it crumble like sand through his fingers. Yet, in this moment of despair, an old merchant approached, setting down his wares with practiced grace. The universe operates in cycles of rest and action, much like the rhythm of your own breath. When you plant a seed of intention in the fertile soil of consciousness, unseen forces begin their sacred work while you sleep. Your dreams, desires, and aspirations continue to grow in the darkness, nurtured by powers beyond your mortal understanding. Just as the moon pulls the tides and the sun draws forth new life from dormant earth, these invisible energies shape the manifestation of your desires. Your role is not to force or demand, but to trust in the natural order of creation. When you resist this divine timing, you create discord in the very forces working to fulfill your wishes. In a distant valley, there lived a gardener named Solomon who understood this timeless wisdom. While others frantically dug up their seeds each day to check for growth, Solomon tended his garden with patient devotion. He knew that beneath the soil's surface, miracles were unfolding according to nature's perfect schedule. His neighbors mocked his seeming inaction, yet when harvest time arrived, Solomon's garden yielded abundance beyond measure. The wisdom lies in understanding that periods of apparent inactivity are not voids to be feared, but sacred spaces where creation takes form. Just as a child develops in the womb, sheltered from sight but growing steadily, your prosperity gestates in realms unseen. The universe requires these quiet intervals to arrange circumstances, align energies, and orchestrate the perfect moment for manifestation. Your failed investment, like Tobias Kent's moment of despair, is not an ending, but a pause in the greater symphony of abundance. The seeds you've planted continue their growth, even when your physical eyes see no movement. Trust in this process as naturally as you trust the sun to rise each morning. Ancient practice. As you prepare for sleep each night, create a sacred moment of acknowledgement. Lie quietly and whisper your gratitude to the unseen helpers orchestrating your success, the ideas taking shape, the perfect timing being arranged, and the people being guided toward you. Speak these words with serene certainty. While I rest, the universe works endlessly on my behalf. I trust in divine timing and perfect unfoldment. Then, like Solomon the wise gardener, allow your mind to remain undisturbed, knowing that beneath the surface of consciousness, your abundance grows stronger with each passing moment. Chapter 8. The Gift of Circulation. In a small village among rolling hills, Opaljon kept her life savings hidden beneath floorboards and inside hollow books. Each morning she would count her coins, her fingers trembling as she touched each piece, fearing their loss. The more tightly she clutched her wealth, the more her world seemed to shrink. Her garden withered, her friendships grew distant, and her home felt cold despite the warmth of summer days. Money, like the breath in your lungs, must flow to sustain life. When you hold your breath too long, your body protests. Similarly, when you trap wealth in stagnation, the universe cannot refresh your supply. The natural state of abundance is movement, giving and receiving in an eternal dance of exchange. Picture a stream flowing down a mountainside. Where the water moves freely, life flourishes. Fish swim, plants grow, animals gather to drink. But where the water pools and stagnates, nothing thrives. Your wealth follows this same principle. It must circulate to maintain its vital force. In the bustling streets of an ancient city lived Alessandro, a street musician who played his violin with passionate joy. Though his pockets were never full, he always shared his earnings with fellow performers and dropped coins into the cups of those in need. Each gift was offered with a smile and a blessing. Mysteriously, his generosity seemed to multiply. Passers-by became more generous, unexpected opportunities arose, and his music touched more hearts with each passing day. Alessandro's story mirrors a universal truth. Abundance flows through open hands, not clenched fists. When you release your wealth with love and trust, you align with the natural current of prosperity. Each act of giving creates space for receiving, like the inhale that naturally follows an exhale. Just as a river cannot flow in only one direction, true wealth cannot only be accumulated. The art of prosperity lies in maintaining this sacred circulation. When you give from a place of love rather than obligation, you activate an ancient law of multiplication. Practice. Take a single dollar today. Hold it in your palm and infuse it with your loving intention. Then spend it joyfully, speaking these words in your heart. Go and return multiplied. Release it without trace of regret, knowing that your gesture of trust sets in motion waves of abundance that will return to you in unexpected ways. Chapter 9. The Conversation with Doubt. In the quiet hours before dawn, when most of the city still slumbered, Everett Paul sat at his desk surrounded by columns of numbers. His fingers traced each digit meticulously, while an inner voice whispered familiar doubts. There's never enough. No matter how much you save, it will slip away. The voice had been his companion for years, growing louder with each careful calculation. Though his account held substantial savings, the fear of scarcity clung to him like morning mist, coloring every financial decision with shades of anxiety. Money responds to the energy we emit, not the logic we apply. When you spend each moment anticipating lack, you transmit a frequency that the universe must match. Your thoughts become prophecies, self-fulfilling in their certainty of shortage. Yet, within this truth lies liberation. As you begin to understand that abundance flows not from external circumstances but from internal alignment, you unlock the power to transform your relationship with wealth. The universe mirrors back precisely what you project, not what you wish for, but what you truly believe will manifest. One morning, something shifted in Everett's awareness. Instead of fighting his doubts, he acknowledged them with gentle attention. "I hear your concern," he spoke to his inner voice. "You're trying to protect me. But what if we chose to protect our peace instead?" This simple act, turning toward his fear with compassion rather than resistance, began to alter the energy around his finances. His inner critic, no longer treated as an enemy, gradually softened its warnings. As Everett learned to breathe with his anxiety rather than brace against it, his numbers began telling a different story. The law of attraction responds not to your words, but to your energetic signature. When you wage war with your doubts, you create resistance that blocks the natural flow of abundance. But when you embrace all parts of yourself, even those that question and fear, you open a channel for wealth to flow freely. Practice. In moments of financial worry, pause and acknowledge the concern with gentleness. Place your hand over your heart and speak these words: "I hear you, but abundance hears me louder." Feel the shift as resistance melts into acceptance, and let a smile cross your lips in that new silence. This practice transforms the frequency of fear into a song of certainty, allowing money to flow toward your renewed energy. Chapter 10. The Dance of Timing. In an ancient village among rolling hills, Lula Rose sat beneath a weathered oak tree, her heart heavy with worry. The scroll in her trembling hands bore the marks of countless tears, a letter requesting aid from the kingdom's treasury for her healing studies. As days turned to weeks without reply, her spirit grew restless, like a bird beating against invisible bars. The universe operates on a divine schedule, one that transcends mortal calendars and earthly deadlines. Your role is not to force time's hand, but to align with its perfect orchestration. When you resist the natural rhythm of manifestation, you create resistance in the flow of abundance. Each moment of apparent delay carries within it a hidden blessing, a preparation you cannot yet see. Just as fruit ripens in its season, regardless of human impatience, abundance arrives at the precise instant when all elements have aligned in perfect harmony. Consider the fisherman's tale passed down through generations. An old sage watched as a young fisherman named Kai rushed to cast his nets before dawn, grumbling about missed opportunities. Day after day, Kai returned with empty nets, while those who arrived later hauled in abundant catches. The sage approached him one morning and spoke. "The sea knows when to gift its treasures. Your net may be ready, but the fish swim to their own rhythm." Kai resisted at first, but gradually learned to read the tides, to feel the pulse of the waters. When he finally surrendered to nature's timing, His nets grew heavy with silver fish, arriving exactly when his understanding had ripened. This wisdom echoes across centuries into your present moment. What appears as delay is often divine protection, ensuring all components are in perfect position for your highest good. The universe neither rushes nor delays. It moves in absolute precision, orchestrating countless elements to manifest your desire in its most beneficial form. When you release the grip of anxiety and trust in this cosmic choreography, you align with the very force that moves mountains and guides stars. Your certainty in divine timing becomes a beacon, attracting the exact circumstances needed for your prosperity. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space as the sun rises or sets. Place your hands over your heart, feeling its steady rhythm. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, synchronizing with the eternal pulse of life. Speak these words with quiet authority. I trust the clockwork of the cosmos. Allow any tension about timing to dissolve into a deep knowing that all unfolds in perfect sequence. Maintain this peaceful state for several breaths, letting the wisdom of divine timing settle into your being. Part 2. The Architecture of Alignment. Chapter 11. The House Built of Thoughts. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, Winnie Lou sat amidst her collection of images, pictures of grand houses, abundant gardens, and symbols of prosperity carefully arranged on thick parchment. Her fingers traced the edges of each image, yet her eyes held shadows of uncertainty. Though she had heard tales of the power of vision, doubt crept like evening mist through her thoughts. The images you gather are more than mere pictures. They are the seeds of tomorrow's garden. Yet the true power lies not in the physical arrangement of symbols, but in the emotional blueprint you craft within. When you place an image of abundance before you, it matters little if your eyes believe while your heart whispers, "Impossible." The universe responds not to what you wish for, but to what you feel worthy of receiving. Like master architects of old, those who build lasting wealth first construct it in the chamber of their imagination. Each thought you hold about money forms a cornerstone in your financial temple. When these thoughts align with universal abundance, your outer world begins to mirror your inner sanctuary. But when doubt infiltrates your mental workspace, it weakens the very foundation upon which your prosperity must stand. In a distant valley lived Thaddeus, a carpenter known for homes that seemed to radiate joy. While others rushed to raise beams and nail boards, Thaddeus would first sit quietly in the empty space where a house would stand. "Before I lift a single tool," he would say, "I must feel the laughter that will echo through these halls, the love that will warm these rooms, the peace that will bless this threshold." Those who commissioned Thaddeus's work noticed something remarkable. Their homes didn't just shelter bodies, they nurtured souls. For he built not just with wood and stone, but with the invisible materials of vision and faith. Each stroke of his hammer followed the rhythm of certainty in his heart. Your mind is the master builder of your financial reality. Just as Thaddeus infused joy into every beam he raised, you must saturate your vision of abundance with unwavering faith. The universe doesn't respond to the pictures on your dream board. It responds to the feeling those images awaken within you. The ancient practice of vision. As darkness settles each night, create a sacred moment of pure creation. Find a quiet space where your imagination can roam free. Close your eyes and craft one thought of such pure joy, such complete acceptance of abundance that it becomes a living blueprint for your next miracle. Hold this thought until you feel its reality in every cell of your being. Let it be as simple as a smile, as powerful as a sunrise. This is not merely dreaming. It is calling forth the very essence of manifestation through the architecture of your consciousness. Chapter 12. The Echo of Emotion. In the bustling heart of the city, a young entrepreneur named Frankie Joe plastered smiles across his face while sorting through mounting bills. His Instagram feed sparkled with motivational quotes about abundance. His office walls gleamed with affirmations, yet beneath this carefully crafted veneer of positivity, resentment coiled like a serpent around his heart. The universe perceives not the masks you wear, but the vibration you carry. When your words speak of prosperity while your spirit trembles with scarcity, you create a discord that blocks the natural flow of abundance. This misalignment, this gap between what you project and what you truly feel, becomes the very barrier that holds wealth at bay. You cannot deceive the great laws that govern creation. They respond not to the brightness of your smile, but to the authenticity of your emotional signature. Each bill you curse while pretending gratitude sends ripples of resistance through the fabric of manifestation. Each forced affirmation spoken through gritted teeth only reinforces the very lack you seek to overcome. In a small village by the sea lived an artist named Thomas, whose studio walls were lined with unpaid invoices. Rather than hide these papers away in shame, he would light a candle each evening and sit before them in peaceful acknowledgement. Each unpaid invoice, he would say, is proof that I have served, that I have created, that I have given my gifts to the world. Payment will come in its perfect time. Within months, his gentle acceptance transformed into a steady stream of abundance, not because he pretended away his reality, but because he honored it with truth. The wisdom whispered by Thomas's story echoes through the ages. Emotional honesty creates the foundation for lasting prosperity. When you deny your true feelings about money, you build your financial house upon shifting sands. But when you acknowledge your fears, your doubts, your resentments, when you bring them into the light of consciousness, you begin the authentic journey toward abundance. Sacred practice. As darkness settles and you prepare for rest, sit quietly with your financial emotions. Notice one feeling about money that surfaces. Perhaps it's worry, perhaps it's hope. Don't judge it or try to change it. Simply observe this emotion as you would watch a leaf floating on a stream. Then, with infinite gentleness, surround this feeling with compassion until you feel it soften, until resistance melts into acceptance, until fear dissolves into peace. Let this be your nightly ritual of emotional truth-telling with the universe. Chapter 13. The Alchemy of Decision. In the quiet hills of an ancient valley, Nora Fay stood at a crossroads. One path led to the secure banking position her family praised, while the other beckoned toward her dream of opening a healing center. Day after day she lingered between these choices, her energy dispersing like morning mist in the wind. The universe responds not to contemplation, but to conviction. When you stand between two paths, your power seeps away through the cracks of uncertainty. Each moment of indecision sends conflicting signals to the cosmic forces that arrange circumstances in your favor. Like a radio trying to tune into two stations simultaneously, the result is static rather than clarity. You must understand this timeless truth. The power lies not in the choice itself, but in the act of choosing. When you commit fully to a direction, you activate forces beyond your comprehension. The universe cannot deliver to a divided mind. It requires the crystal clarity of decision to manifest your desires into form. Your hesitation stems not from wisdom, but from fear disguised as prudence. Safety and dreams are not opposing forces. They are different expressions of the same life energy. By choosing one path wholeheartedly, you don't abandon the essence of the other. You simply direct your power in a focused stream rather than scattered droplets. Listen well to this tale from the ancient scrolls. A traveler named Zhang stood before 3 mountain passes, each promising to lead to the Golden City. For 40 days he analyzed each route, gathering opinions and weighing options. His provisions dwindled as he remained frozen in analysis. Finally, an old sage appeared and spoke. "The path you choose matters less than your commitment to walk it fully." That very hour, Zhang selected the middle path and began walking. As he committed to his journey, bridges appeared over chasms, strangers offered shelter and guidance, and hidden shortcuts revealed themselves. What seemed the longest route transformed into the most direct path, not because it was inherently superior, but because his unwavering commitment magnetized support from the universe. This tale mirrors your current stance. The universe awaits your signal, not a perfect choice, but a clear one. When you fully commit to a direction, unseen helpers mobilize, circumstances align, and what appeared impossible becomes inevitable through the power of your focused energy. The practice of decision. In the sacred tradition of the ancient masters, find a quiet space as the sun rises. Stand tall, feet planted firmly on the earth. Speak your decision aloud with clear, unwavering voice. Then, without delay, take one tangible action, however small, that moves you along your chosen path. This physical step anchors your energetic commitment into the material world, creating a bridge between intention and manifestation. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Magnetic Signature. Along the bustling streets of a merchant district, Roscoe Dale watched other traders' shops overflow with customers while his own stood quiet. Through his window, he observed how some merchants seemed to effortlessly attract prosperity, their days flowing like honey, sweet, smooth, and abundant. The truth you must grasp lies not in what these prosperous souls do, but in who they are being. Your emotional frequency broadcasts a signal far more potent than any advertisement or strategic plan. Just as every note creates a specific vibration, your dominant feelings emit an energetic signature that money either recognizes or rejects. When you harbor thoughts of lack while watching others succeed, you transmit a frequency of envy that repels the very prosperity you seek. The universe responds not to your words or wishes, but to the resonance of your being. Those who seem lucky have usually mastered, often unconsciously, the art of maintaining an inner state that magnetizes good fortune. Consider the wisdom in this tale. In a distant village lived Amara, a jeweler whose work sparkled with uncommon brilliance. While other craftsmen worried about competition and complained of scarce customers, Amara spent her days in pure joy, focusing solely on infusing each piece with love. She never pushed for sales or fretted about tomorrow. Instead, she maintained an unwavering appreciation for her craft. Soon, collectors traveled from far lands, drawn not just by her jewels, but by the peaceful energy that surrounded her shop. Her success flowed not from strategy, but from the purity of her emotional signature. The message rings clear. Your vibrational offering becomes your cosmic resume. The universe doesn't read your credentials or count your years of experience. It feels your frequency and responds in kind. When you emit waves of appreciation, confidence, and inner peace, you become a natural attractor for abundance. The stories of both Roscoe Dale and Amara mirror your own journey. Each moment presents a choice: to dwell in comparison and lack, or to cultivate an inner garden of gratitude and trust. Your emotional baseline becomes your magnetic field, drawing or repelling prosperity according to its resonance. Ancient practice. As the sun rises tomorrow, gift yourself with a deliberate smile. Hold it for 3 full breaths, allowing genuine warmth to fill your being. Maintain this practice throughout your day, smiling without reason or requirement. Watch carefully as life begins to mirror your frequency, returning your smile disguised as unexpected opportunities, graceful solutions, and abundant blessings. Your joy becomes the magnet that draws prosperity's embrace. Chapter 15. The Listener's Purse. In the heart of a thriving city, Darlene Sue spent hours crafting vision boards filled with images of abundant checks and overflowing bank statements. Each morning, she would meditate on financial success, yet something felt misaligned. Despite her dedicated visualizations, prosperity remained elusive. When gentle nudges arose, suggesting new paths or unexpected opportunities, she dismissed them as distractions from her carefully planned manifestation routine. The truth rings clear as crystal waters. Money speaks to you through the sacred language of intuition. Your inner knowing serves as a divine compass, pointing toward channels through which abundance naturally flows. When you silence these subtle promptings, you disconnect from the very guidance designed to lead you to prosperity. Like radio waves traveling through the air, intuitive messages constantly broadcast directions to greater abundance. Yet many souls, like Darlene Sue, remain tuned to the louder frequencies of logic and planning, missing the whispered wisdom that could transform their financial reality. In a small coastal village lived an aging fisherman named Thomas. While others ventured far into deep waters seeking larger catches, Thomas would sit quietly each morning, listening to the rhythm of the waves. One dawn, an unusual pattern in the water's song caught his attention. Following this subtle guidance, he discovered a previously unknown cove teeming with fish. Within months, his modest boat brought in catches rivaling the largest vessels in the fleet. "The sea speaks to those who learn its language," Thomas would say, "just as abundance speaks to those who listen with their soul." This tale mirrors the truth of your own journey. The universe conspires to guide you toward greater prosperity, but its messages often arrive as gentle impressions rather than thunderous proclamations. When you honor these subtle signals, an unexpected urge to take a different route to work, a persistent thought about contacting an old colleague, or a quiet knowing that it's time for change, you align with the natural current of abundance. Ancient practice of sacred listening. Find a peaceful space where you won't be disturbed. For 5 minutes, close your eyes and breathe deeply. Allow your thoughts to settle like leaves in still water. Notice any recurring thoughts, feelings, or impressions about your path to prosperity. Treat each intuitive whisper as precious currency, knowing these subtle messages carry the seeds of your abundance. Document these insights without judgment, trusting that your inner wisdom speaks the language of prosperity perfectly. Chapter 16. The Shadow of Comparison. Across the bustling streets of a merchant's quarter, Hollis Dean sat alone in his dimly lit office, his fingers sliding endlessly across the glowing screen. With each swipe, another success story appeared. Entrepreneurs celebrating milestones, investors announcing triumphs, business owners sharing their expanding empires. Each image, each announcement seemed to diminish his own light, until he felt like a candle fighting against 1,000 suns. The ancient wisdom speaks of a profound truth. Comparison is the silent thief of power. When you measure your journey against another's destination, you leak the very energy needed for your own expansion. Your attention, split between your path and another's, creates a fracture in your manifesting potential. The universe responds not to what others have achieved, but to the undivided force of your focused intention. Remember this truth. Each soul walks a unique path in the infinite dance of abundance. What appears as another's blessing serves as a mirror, reflecting possibilities rather than limitations. Their success does not diminish your potential. It affirms the unlimited nature of universal supply. In a distant valley there lived a young runner named Maya who trained for the village races. Each morning she watched other athletes sprinting past her, their speeds seemingly impossible to match. Doubt crept into her steps until an elder shared a secret. The only lane that matters is your own. From that day forward, Maya ran with blinders, focusing solely on her rhythm, her breath, her connection to the earth beneath her feet. As she released the urge to glance at others' progress, her own speed naturally increased. By the harvest festival, she not only matched, but surpassed many who had once seemed unreachable. Just as Maya discovered her natural pace by honoring her unique journey, your path to prosperity unfolds most gracefully when your energy remains undivided. Each time you witness another's achievement, let it serve as confirmation of what is possible rather than evidence of what you lack. Their victory becomes your inspiration when you choose to translate envy into enlightened appreciation. The ancient practice of blessing. When you encounter news of another's success, pause and speak these words with genuine heart. I bless your abundance fully and completely. Your prosperity shows me what is possible, and I am grateful for this reminder of the universe's infinite supply. Feel how this blessing creates an immediate shift in your energy, from contraction to expansion, from lack to possibility. In blessing others' wealth, you open the channels for your own. This simple act transforms the energy of comparison into a force of creation. As you practice this blessing ritual, notice how your focus naturally returns to your own path, now enriched with the certainty that abundance flows in endless streams, enough for all who align with its frequency. Chapter 17. The Currency of Calm. High in the financial district's gleaming towers, Lester J. raced through his days like a man pursued by invisible storms. His phone buzzed incessantly with alerts, his calendar overflowed with appointments, and his mind churned with endless calculations. Despite his feverish activity, wealth seemed to dance just beyond his grasp, moving farther away with each desperate lunge to catch it. The universe speaks in whispers, not in shouts. When you rush to chase abundance, you send ripples of anxiety through the field of infinite possibility. These vibrations of urgency create resistance in the very fabric of manifestation. Money, in its divine wisdom, responds not to the speed of your pursuit, but to the steadiness of your certainty. Observe how nature operates. Flowers bloom in their season, not by force but by natural timing. The oak grows mighty, not through haste, but through consistent, unhurried expansion. So too does your prosperity flourish when you align with this universal rhythm of graceful unfolding. In the heart of a small coastal town, a cafe owner named Rose worked herself into exhaustion, trying to attract more customers. Her anxiety seeped into every cup of coffee she served, every pastry she carefully arranged in the display case. The more she worried about empty tables, the more they seemed to multiply. One morning, overwhelmed by fatigue, Rose simply stopped. She sat in her empty cafe, closed her eyes, and surrendered to the quiet. In that moment of release, something shifted. She began preparing food with peaceful attention rather than desperate hope. She greeted each customer with genuine warmth instead of masked concern. Within days, a curious transformation occurred. People started lingering longer, bringing friends, returning more frequently. The cafe filled not through her striving, but through her serenity. The very peace she had found became the magnet that drew abundance to her door. This truth echoes through the ages. Calm is the currency of creation. When you release the grip of anxiety, you allow the natural flow of prosperity to move through your life. Each moment of peace becomes an invitation for abundance to enter. The ancient practice of tranquil earnings. Throughout your day, pause when you feel the familiar rush of financial anxiety rising. Take one deep, conscious breath and silently affirm, "I earn best in ease." Let this truth settle into your bones, reminding you that prosperity flows most freely through tranquil waters. This simple practice realigns your energy with the natural state of abundance, allowing money to find you through the path of peace rather than panic. Chapter 18. The Whisper of Generosity. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, a weaver named Maribel sat at her small stall, crafting intricate tapestries. While others rushed past with tight expressions, she offered genuine smiles and words of encouragement to those who paused near her work. Though her purse held little, her heart overflowed with warmth for every soul who crossed her path. When a young apprentice struggled with his first attempts at weaving, Maribel spent precious hours guiding his hands, sharing techniques passed down through generations. Within days, mysterious patrons appeared, seeking her finest works. As she shared her knowledge freely, her own mastery deepened, and with it, her prosperity expanded. The law of circulation moves through every dimension of existence. Each gesture of authentic giving creates a ripple in the invisible sea of abundance. Your generous thoughts, words, and actions are not mere expressions of kindness. They are spiritual investments that the universe multiplies with mathematical precision. When you give with pure intent, untainted by expectation, you align with the natural flow of universal energy. This alignment opens channels through which prosperity flows with increasing momentum. The mystery lies not in the giving itself, but in releasing attachment to how your goodness returns to you. In a nearby village, two neighbors discovered this truth through living it. The first, a baker, began leaving fresh bread at the doorsteps of elderly villagers before dawn. The second, a carpenter, spent evenings repairing broken fences without charge. Neither spoke of their deeds, yet their businesses flourished beyond explanation. Customers appeared as if guided by an unseen hand, and opportunities arose that no planning could have devised. Their story reflects an eternal principle. Generosity creates an energetic signature that abundance recognizes and seeks to match. When you give from your essence rather than your excess, you demonstrate trust in the infinite supply of good. This trust becomes the magnet that draws prosperity through unexpected channels. Money responds not to hoarding, but to flow. Each time you extend yourself in service, you weave another thread into the tapestry of universal abundance. Your generosity need not be grand, a moment of genuine attention, a word of encouragement, or a simple act of kindness carries the same energetic power as material gifts. The ancient practice of sacred giving. Choose one moment today to offer an unexpected kindness. As you perform this act, maintain complete silence about your giving. Let joy be your only witness, and watch as prosperity follows your invisible trail of generosity. The universe keeps its own ledger, and no sincere offering goes unnoted in its infinite accounting. Chapter 19. The Art of Receiving. Along a quiet street lined with oak trees, Virgil Tom worked diligently at his craft, restoring old furniture to its former glory. His skilled hands brought new life to worn pieces, yet when customers praised his artistry, he would wave away their words, muttering, "It's nothing special." When neighbors offered to help carry heavy pieces, he declined, insisting he could manage alone. The universe speaks through the kindness of others. Each compliment, each offered hand represents a current of abundance seeking to reach you. When you deflect praise or refuse assistance, you create resistance in the natural flow of giving and receiving. This resistance ripples through all channels of prosperity, including financial ones. Your worthiness is not earned, it is inherent. The sun does not question whether a flower deserves its light. It shines freely, and the flower grows naturally toward its warmth. So too must you grow toward the light of abundance that seeks to reach you through others' generosity. Within every rejection of kindness lies a hidden message to the universe. I am not deserving. This subtle signal becomes a command, instructing the flow of good to bypass you. The law of attraction responds not to your words, but to your energetic stance. When you close yourself to small blessings, larger ones find no open door through which to enter. In a small mountain village, a mail carrier named Rose walked her route each day, delivering packages with care. For years, she declined the cookies and tea offered by grateful residents, saying she couldn't accept such kindness. Her days felt increasingly heavy until one morning, when exhausted and thirsty, she finally accepted a glass of water from an elderly woman. That simple yes shifted something profound. The woman shared stories of her own journey, leading Rose to an unexpected opportunity that transformed her life. By accepting that single glass of water, she had reopened the channel through which abundance could flow. This story illuminates a vital truth. Receiving graciously honors both the giver and the universal source of all gifts. When someone offers appreciation or help, They become a channel for the universe's abundance. Your grateful acceptance completes the circle of energy, allowing more blessings to flow. Think of receiving as a sacred practice, equal in importance to giving. Each time you accept with grace, you declare to the universe, "I am open to good coming to me in all forms." This declaration magnetizes greater abundance, for energy flows where acceptance glows. The ancient practice of sacred receiving. When someone offers praise or help today, say simply, "Thank you, I receive this fully." Let these words be your bridge from resistance to receptivity, from doubt to deserving. In this simple practice lies the key to unlocking the fullness of life's abundance. Chapter 20. The Light in the Ledger. Along the winding path to abundance, you'll discover that receiving is an art as sacred as giving. This truth unfolds through the story of Virgil Tom, whose workshop glowed with mastery in furniture restoration. His hands breathed life into forgotten treasures, yet when admirers spoke of his gift, he would turn away their praise like unwanted rain. "It's nothing special," he'd murmur, shrinking from the light of recognition. When neighbors extended helping hands to move heavy pieces, he'd retreat behind a wall of self-reliance, insisting he could manage alone. The universe operates through channels of give and take, like the eternal dance of ocean tides. When you close yourself to receiving, you create resistance in the natural flow of abundance. Each deflected compliment, each refused assistance sends a signal to the universe. "I am not worthy of support." This pattern of resistance echoes through all pathways of prosperity, including your relationship with money. Your inherent worth exists independent of achievement or effort. Just as the sun bestows its light freely upon every flower, abundance seeks expression through multiple channels, through kind words, helpful gestures, unexpected gifts, and yes, through financial flow. The universe does not judge worthiness. It simply responds to openness. A mail carrier named Samuel walked this path before you. Each morning, the residents along his route would offer him water, occasional homemade treats, or simple words of gratitude. For years he politely declined everything, proud of his self-sufficiency. But one winter morning, when an elderly woman pressed a hand-knit scarf into his hands, something shifted. Instead of his usual refusal, he paused, looked into her eyes, and simply said, "Thank you." That moment of acceptance created a tiny crack in his armor of unworthiness. This simple act of receiving transformed Samuel's entire world. As he learned to accept small kindnesses with grace, larger opportunities began appearing in his life. A chance conversation led to an investment opportunity. A casual recommendation opened doors to advancement. The universe had always been offering its gifts. He had finally learned to receive them. When you reject praise, assistance, or abundance in any form, you unconsciously affirm, "I prefer lack." The art of receiving requires trust in your fundamental deservingness. Each "thank you" becomes a declaration to the universe. I am open to more goodness. The practice of receiving begins with awareness. Notice how often you deflect compliments or decline assistance. Each time you feel the urge to push away support, pause, breathe deeply, and say simply, "Thank you. I receive this fully." Let the words rest in your heart as you allow yourself to be nourished by the generosity of others. Your ability to receive mirrors your capacity for abundance. As you open yourself to accepting help, appreciation, and support, you align with the natural flow of universal giving. Money, being energy in motion, responds to this same principle. Your willingness to receive creates the space for greater prosperity to enter. Exercise for alignment. When someone offers praise or help today, resist the urge to deflect. Instead, look them in the eye, take a conscious breath, and say simply, "Thank you. I receive this fully." Feel the energy of acceptance flow through you, knowing that each moment of gracious receiving expands your capacity for abundance in all forms. Part 3. The Symphony of Manifestation. Chapter 21. The Breath of Vision. In a small valley town, Ralphie Glenn spent his mornings tending to his garden, yet his true cultivation happened within. Each dawn, he would sit beneath an old oak tree, eyes closed, breathing deeply as he painted pictures in his mind. Not mere daydreams, but vivid visions where he could feel the texture of success against his skin, taste the sweetness of abundance on his tongue, and hear the melody of prosperity in every rustling leaf. The ancient wisdom teaches that imagination is not fantasy. It is the template upon which reality builds itself. Your thoughts are living energy, and when infused with sensory detail, they become magnetic blueprints that the universe follows with precise devotion. To manifest is to first make real in mind what you wish to hold in hand. As you attune to this truth, notice that the universe speaks the language of feeling. It responds not to empty wishes, but to experiences so richly imagined that your body believes them real. When you think of wealth, let yourself feel the weight of abundance in your hands. Breathe in the fragrance of success. Hear the sound of opportunity knocking at your door. In a distant city lived a florist named Rose, who understood this sacred art. Before planting a single seed, she would walk through her empty greenhouse, seeing in her mind's eye the riot of colors yet to bloom. She touched invisible petals, inhaled phantom fragrances, and felt the moist earth that would nurture her future garden. Within months, her visualization manifested exactly as she had imagined. Every color, every scent, every texture materialized, as if copied from the template of her mind. This truth extends beyond gardens and dreams. It reaches into the very essence of creation. Your imagination is not separate from reality. It is the womb in which reality first takes form. The wealth you seek already exists in the realm of potential, waiting for your creative breath to draw it into being. The practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Settle into a comfortable position and close your eyes. Begin with a deep breath, imagining you're drawing in golden light, pure potential, raw creation. As you exhale, feel this light, transforming your inner landscape, making your desired reality present now. Continue breathing this way, each inhale drawing in more golden light, each exhale anchoring your vision more firmly in the now. Let every cell of your body vibrate with the certainty that your dream is already real. Chapter 22. The Company You Keep. In the heart of a bustling marketplace, Hazel Ruth watched as her small jewelry business struggled while her neighbor's flower shop flourished. Day after day, she observed the flower seller's radiant smile, her ease with money, and her natural way of attracting abundance. Meanwhile, Hazel's own thoughts dwelled on her friend's constant complaints about rising costs and dwindling sales. Your energy naturally attunes to those around you, like a musical instrument finding its pitch in an orchestra. This law of vibrational resonance shapes your financial reality more powerfully than any business strategy. When you surround yourself with those who vibrate at the frequency of lack, your own energy field begins to match their tone. Yet, when you align with those who embody abundance, your prosperity naturally expands. Just as a tuning fork responds to the sound waves around it, your consciousness responds to the energetic signatures of those in your circle. This is not mere mimicry. It is the natural law of energetic entrainment. The universe responds not to your words or wishes, but to the frequency you maintain, and this frequency is profoundly influenced by your chosen company. In a distant mountain village, a wise woman named Mai gathered with 4 friends each week at sunset. These women shared not their worries, but their victories, no matter how small. They celebrated each coin earned, each debt cleared, each unexpected blessing. As their circle of joy grew stronger, their individual fortunes rose like bread in a warm kitchen. They discovered that collective gratitude creates a magnetic field that draws more reasons to be grateful. The lesson rings clear. Your financial atmosphere is shaped by the company you keep. Choose your circle with the same care you would choose the soil for a garden. Some companions drain your energy like weeds stealing nutrients, while others enrich your field like companion plants sharing strength. Look now at those who surround you. Do they lift your spirits or dampen them? Do their words plant seeds of possibility or roots of doubt? The universe responds to your energetic signature, which is constantly being tuned by those around you. Practice. Today, seek out one conversation with someone who raises your vibration. Notice how their energy affects your own, how their words shift your perspective. Let this interaction be a conscious choice to tune yourself to a higher frequency. In this simple act lies the seed of transformation, for as you align with those who resonate with abundance, abundance recognizes you as its natural home. Chapter 23. The Shadow Treasury. In the warm glow of a summer evening, Gideon Lee sat at his desk, staring at old invoices and collection notices. Though he had long since paid these debts, their shadow still darkened his thoughts, leaving a bitter taste whenever money crossed his path. Each statement reminded him of past struggles, and his resentment grew like rust on a golden key. Within the depths of consciousness, unpaid debts and unforgiven moments create energetic blocks that restrict the flow of abundance. These emotional debts weigh far more heavily than financial ones, anchoring your energy in past pain rather than present possibility. The universe responds not to what you owe, but to how tightly you hold on to the memory of owing. Money flows through channels of peace. When you release others from the prison of your judgment, you simultaneously free yourself from energetic bondage. This truth extends beyond financial debts. It encompasses every instance where you feel wronged, cheated, or diminished. Your resistance to forgiving creates resistance in your receiving. In a quiet mountain town, an artist named Sophia struggled after a wealthy patron commissioned a masterpiece but vanished without payment. For months, her anger poisoned her creativity until one morning, gazing at the finished work, she chose to bless the absent patron. "I release you," she whispered to the empty studio. That very afternoon, 3 new clients appeared, each bearing opportunities greater than the lost commission. This pattern reveals itself throughout the ages. Forgiveness acts as a spiritual solvent, dissolving the invisible barriers between you and your abundance. When you hold on to past financial wounds, you tell the universe you're not ready for new prosperity. But when you release others from their debts, emotional or financial, you signal your readiness for greater flow. Your relationship with money mirrors your relationship with the past. Each grudge, each bitter memory, each unpaid debt you refuse to release becomes a dam in your river of abundance. The art of forgiving yourself, others, circumstances opens these blocked channels, allowing wealth to flow naturally into your experience. Today's sacred practice beckons you toward liberation. Take a single sheet of paper and write one note of forgiveness. Address it to someone who has wounded you financially, or to yourself for past money mistakes. Pour your truth onto the page, then end with words of release. Whether you send this note or burn it in sacred ceremony matters less than the act of writing it. Feel how your energy lightens, how your grip on old pain loosens. Notice how your wallet feels different in your hands, as though it too has been unburdened. Watch as the simple act of forgiveness transforms into golden opportunities, as though the universe itself has been waiting for you to lay down this weight before offering its next gift. Chapter 24. The Invitation of Joy. Along a bustling marketplace street, Elsie B. watched passers-by through her shop window. Her shelves displayed beautiful handicrafts, yet worry had etched lines around her eyes. For months, she had pushed herself to exhaustion, believing harder work meant greater reward. Yet the more she strained, the more customers seemed to drift away. One morning, her young niece visited the shop, chasing soap bubbles between the aisles. The child's pure delight filled the space with an infectious energy. To her surprise, Elsie found herself laughing, truly laughing, for the first time in months. That very afternoon, 3 significant sales manifested effortlessly. The universe speaks the language of vibration. When you align yourself with joy, you tune into the natural frequency of abundance. Struggle and strain create resistance, while lightness of being opens channels for prosperity to flow. Your laughter is not mere sound. It is a declaration to the universe that you trust in life's benevolence. In a village square, a traveling merchant struggled to attract attention to his wares. His serious demeanor and rehearsed sales pitch fell flat until a child's spontaneous giggle pierced the afternoon air. The sound rippled through the crowd like sunshine breaking through clouds. Soon smiles spread from face to face, and people began approaching his cart with open hearts and willing hands. What clever marketing could not achieve, innocent joy accomplished in moments. This simple truth reveals itself. Money follows mirth. When you release the weight of worry and embrace the lightness of being, you become magnetic to prosperity. Joy is not the result of abundance, it is the catalyst. The universe delights in dancing with those who remember how to dance themselves. Ancient wisdom tells us that the sound of genuine laughter carries the same frequency as the flow of abundance. When you laugh freely, you broadcast to the universe that you are ready to receive its gifts. Your joy becomes an invitation for prosperity to enter. Sacred practice. Find one moment today to laugh with complete abandon. Let it bubble up from your depths without restraint or self-consciousness. This is not forced positivity. It is permission to be truly light. As your laughter rings out, know that you are ringing a bell that abundance cannot resist answering. Chapter 25. The guardian thought. Along the windswept shores of a coastal town, Clyde Ray paced the weathered floorboards of his family's seafood restaurant. The business, passed down through 3 generations, had weathered many storms. Yet now, as economic tides shifted, his thoughts churned with visions of failure. Each morning he would study the books, his anxiety mounting with every calculation. The more he dwelt on potential losses, the more his customers seemed to sense his unease. The universal truth stands clear. What you fear most becomes a magnet, drawing precisely what you wish to avoid. The ancient wisdom teaches that fear acts as an inverted prayer. When you pour your emotional energy into worrying about scarcity, you unknowingly command the universe to manifest more reasons for concern. Your thoughts are seeds, and anxiety waters the very weeds you wish to eliminate from your garden of prosperity. In a neighboring port, there lived an old sailor named Thomas, who had navigated treacherous waters for 40 years. During the fiercest storms, while others panicked, he would sit calmly at the helm, his mind fixed upon the distant harbor. "The ocean responds to the steadiness of your hand," he would say, "and fortune responds to the steadiness of your heart." One evening, as waves crashed against his vessel and lightning split the sky, a young crew member asked Thomas how he maintained such peace. "I learned long ago," he replied, "that my ship follows my eyes. When I stare at the waves, we rock with uncertainty. When I focus on the harbor lights, we find our way home." Like Thomas's ship, your prosperity follows your focus. When you shift your attention from what might be lost to what remains constant, you activate an ancient law. Energy flows where attention goes. Your awareness becomes the rudder steering your financial vessel. The wisdom within these stories reveals a timeless truth. Fear and faith cannot occupy the same space. Just as light dispels darkness, maintaining steadfast focus on abundance naturally dissolves anxiety about lack. Practice. When fear arises about money or success, pause and take 3 deep breaths. With each fearful thought you notice, consciously redirect your focus to one aspect of your life filled with abundance. Feel the golden light of gratitude spreading through your body, dissolving the fear like morning mist in sunlight. Let this become your daily practice until peace becomes your natural state. Chapter 26. The Signature of Service. In a bustling marketplace, Lottie Pearl stood behind her stall of handcrafted remedies, calculating profits with sharp attention. Each interaction became a transaction, her mind forever fixed on the final sum. Though her herbs brought healing, her heart remained closed, focused solely on gain. The universe whispers an eternal truth. Money flows not to those who grasp, but to those who give. When you anchor your work in service, abundance naturally follows. Like water seeking its level, wealth finds those who create value for others. One evening, as Lottie counted her coins, an elderly woman approached, seeking relief for her aching joints but lacking sufficient payment. In that moment, something stirred within Lottie's spirit. Without hesitation, she offered her finest balm, refusing payment. The simple act shifted something profound in her energy field. In the days that followed, Lottie began to see her work differently. Each remedy became not a means to profit, but a vehicle for healing. She listened more deeply to her customers' needs, often spending hours perfecting new blends. As her focus shifted from getting to giving, an extraordinary thing occurred. Her business flourished beyond measure. In the mountains lived a humble soul who carried a single flame. Each evening he would climb the winding paths, lighting the lamps of those dwelling in darkness. He never charged for his service, yet his own light never dimmed. Instead, it grew brighter with each flame he shared. The villagers, moved by his dedication, ensured he never wanted for anything. This parable mirrors the deeper truth about wealth creation. When you illuminate the path for others, the universe ensures your own way remains bright. Your prosperity expands in direct proportion to the value you create for others. The sacred dance of commerce transforms when filtered through the lens of service. Each transaction becomes an opportunity for blessing, each exchange a chance to uplift. Money responds not to desperate seeking, but to sincere serving. Your practice. In the quiet of dawn, before the world stirs, sit in stillness and ask softly, "How may I serve joyfully today?" Let the answer arise naturally from your heart. Then, move through your day attuned to opportunities for service, knowing that as you lift others, abundance lifts you. Chapter 27. The Quiet Millionaire Within. In the gleaming towers of success, Archie Beau collected accolades like precious gems. His office walls bore testimony to achievement, plaques, certificates, and photos with influential figures. Yet each morning, he scrutinized his reflection, searching for validation in designer labels and status symbols, feeling somehow incomplete despite his apparent prosperity. Your true worth can never be measured by external markers. The universe operates through inner principles, responding not to what you possess, but to what you embody. When you seek validation from the outer world, you place your power in shifting sands. The sacred law reveals that stability of spirit creates stability in circumstances. Like a mighty oak drawing nourishment from deep roots, genuine prosperity flows from inner certainty. Your bank balance may fluctuate, but your inherent value remains constant, vast as the cosmos itself. Archie exhausted himself chasing ever higher achievements until one conversation altered his perception forever. An elderly mentor observed simply, "You seek outside what already dwells within." These words penetrated years of conditioning, awakening him to a profound truth. He had been searching the world for what his soul already contained. In a quiet corner of the city lived a librarian named Rose, whose small apartment held few possessions but radiated remarkable peace. Her wealth consisted of morning sunlight streaming through windows, the scent of brewing tea, and the wisdom contained in her beloved books. Visitors often remarked on the sense of abundance that filled her modest space. When asked her secret, Rose would smile and say, "I stopped wanting more when I realized I already had enough." Her contentment acted as a magnetic force, drawing to her exactly what she needed when she needed it. Without striving, her life flowed with effortless grace. This truth stands eternal. Contentment creates a frequency that attracts more reasons to be content. When you recognize your inherent completeness, the universe mirrors this back through endless channels of supply. Like attracts like. Inner wealth manifests outer abundance. Your relationship with money transforms when you first establish richness within. Release the need for external validation and watch how life validates your inner knowing. True prosperity flows not from what you acquire, but from what you realize you already possess. Your practice. As night falls, settle into peaceful solitude. Count your inner treasures. Peace of mind, loving relationships, creative ideas, moments of joy, dreams that inspire, wisdom gained through experience. Let each one fill you with genuine gratitude. Then rest in the knowing that you are already wealthy beyond measure. Sleep as one who lacks nothing, for in truth you don't. Chapter 28. The Revolving Door of Energy. The teachings illuminate a truth as ancient as commerce itself. Judgment constricts the very channel through which abundance flows. When Ivy Clare witnessed neighbors purchasing luxury cars or friends dining at upscale restaurants, her immediate reaction was to question their choices, whispering silent criticisms about their priorities or speculating about their financial wisdom. Yet with each judgment cast, her own financial flow seemed to encounter invisible barriers. Bills appeared with uncanny timing, unexpected expenses arose, and opportunities slipped away like water through clenched fingers. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, was reflecting back the energy she projected. Through inner reflection, you learn that every criticism of another's prosperity builds a wall around your own. Each disapproving thought about wealth creates resistance to receiving it. The frequency of judgment cannot coexist with the frequency of abundance, for they vibrate at opposing rhythms. In the bustling marketplace of a coastal town, a vendor named Maya sold her wares among countless others. Rather than viewing her fellow merchants as competition, she celebrated each successful sale at neighboring stalls. With genuine joy, she would exclaim, "What beautiful exchanges!" When others prospered, she felt the warmth of their success as if it were her own. As days passed, Maya's stall became a beacon of positive energy. Customers naturally gravitated toward her space, drawn by an inexplicable sense of warmth and welcome. Her business flourished not through strategic planning or aggressive marketing, but through the pure vibration of celebrating abundance wherever it appeared. This truth extends beyond the marketplace. When you genuinely rejoice in the good fortune of others, you align yourself with the very frequency of prosperity. Each celebration of another's success signals to the universe your readiness to receive. Their abundance does not diminish your portion. Rather, it confirms that prosperity flows freely for all who welcome it. The practice. As you move through your day, transform every urge to judge into an opportunity for celebration. When you see signs of others' prosperity, a new car, a beautiful home, a successful business, pause and silently rejoice. Feel genuine happiness for their good fortune. Let your heart whisper, "I celebrate your abundance." Watch how quickly this practice transforms your own relationship with prosperity. As judgment dissolves into joy and resistance melts into receptivity. Chapter 29. The Golden Thread of Faith. In the heart of a bustling market square, Floyd Earle worked tirelessly at his small fruit stand, his pockets often empty but his spirit eternally full. Though his earnings barely covered his needs, his hands never hesitated to share with those who had less. When elderly Mrs. Thompson couldn't afford her weekly oranges, Floyd quietly slipped extra fruit into her bag. When young students passed by looking hungry, he offered them apples with a warm smile. The universal law reveals itself through such actions. Faith manifests not through grand gestures, but through unwavering consistency in small moments. Each time you trust in abundance enough to share from seeming scarcity, you demonstrate mastery of divine mathematics, where giving multiplies rather than subtracts. When you align with this truth, you understand that abundance flows not from hoarding, but from trusting the endless supply of universal good. Just as breath follows breath without your conscious command, prosperity follows prosperity when you release anxiety about its arrival. Along the misty shores of an ancient harbor, a fisherman named Thomas prepared his nets each dawn, regardless of weather or season. Other sailors questioned his persistence during storms, but Thomas understood something vital about faith. It requires neither proof nor permission, only peaceful expectation. The winds that fill our sails remain invisible, he would say, yet they have never failed to blow. Season after season, while others waited for perfect conditions, Thomas's quiet confidence drew the largest catches to his nets. Your relationship with abundance mirrors this truth. When you maintain steady faith, despite temporary appearances, you tap into the eternal flow that sustains all life. Like Thomas with his nets, your role is not to control the timing, but to remain ready in certainty. Let this wisdom settle into your bones. The universe operates through cycles, but faith transcends them all. Your trust in the process weaves a golden thread of continuity through every season of abundance and apparent lack. When you grasp this, you understand that temporary conditions need not disturb your inner knowing. Each morning before the world wakes, pause and affirm quietly, "The universe never forgets my song." Let this truth hum through every task, every exchange, every moment of giving. For in the grand orchestration of abundance, your part plays on unbroken, remembered, and sustained by the infinite source of all prosperity. Practice. Each morning, affirm quietly, "The universe never forgets my song," and carry that hum through tasks. Chapter 30. The Radiant Return. Through the sacred art of witnessing, Maisie Jo began noticing something extraordinary. Each time she offered a kind word to a stranger or shared her last dollar with someone in need, the universe responded with uncanny precision. A surprise client would appear, an unexpected refund would arrive, or an opportunity would unfold as if orchestrated by invisible hands. The ancient wisdom speaks true. What you give attention to grows. When you plant seeds of generosity in the soil of faith, abundance blooms in ways that transcend logical explanation. Your thoughts are living energy, creating ripples through the fabric of existence. Each grateful moment becomes a magnet, drawing more reasons for gratitude into your field. Money flows most freely to those who understand its spiritual nature. It seeks resonance with joy, appreciation, and trust. When you release the need to control how blessings arrive, you open countless channels for prosperity to find you. The universe delights in surprising those who maintain unwavering faith despite external circumstances. In a valley between ancient mountains, there lived a pristine lake, known for its mirror-like surface. Travelers would come from distant lands, drawn by tales of its mysterious properties. Those who approached with smiles saw their joy reflected perfectly in its waters. Those who came with frowns found their somber expressions magnified back at them. One day, a wise woman explained to the gathered crowd, This lake teaches us the greatest secret of abundance. Whatever energy you offer is precisely what returns to you multiplied. Your world is always reflecting your inner state back to you. Smile at life, and life cannot help but smile back. This truth extends to your relationship with money. When you approach your finances with appreciation rather than anxiety, when you bless your bills instead of cursing them, when you celebrate others' prosperity instead of envying it, you activate the law of reflection. The universe mirrors your energy with mathematical precision. Sacred practice. Tonight, stand before your mirror in quiet solitude. Look deeply into your own eyes and offer yourself a genuine smile, one that radiates from your heart. Speak these words with feeling. I thank the giver and receiver within me. Through me, abundance flows endlessly. As I bless, I am blessed. Let this moment of connection remind you that you are both the source and the destination of all prosperity. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. As you reach these final chapters, a profound truth emerges from the depths of ancient wisdom. Money, in its purest essence, flows not from striving but from being. Through each story shared, from Daisy May's discovery of silent power to Maisie Joe's journey of radiant return, you've witnessed the same divine principle at work. Abundance responds to the quality of your energy, not the quantity of your effort. The universe operates through vibration, through the subtle frequencies you emit in each moment. When you align your inner state with gratitude, peace, and unwavering trust, you become a natural conduit for prosperity. This isn't about forcing outcomes or manipulating circumstances. It's about allowing yourself to become the living embodiment of abundance. Think of how water flows. It doesn't push or struggle. It simply moves in harmony with natural law. Your relationship with money can hold this same effortless grace. As you've learned, wealth isn't a destination to reach, but a frequency to maintain. When you live from this understanding, money becomes not a master to serve, but a natural expression of your spiritual alignment. You now hold keys that sages and mystics have preserved through ages. The power to transform your financial reality lies not in external actions, but in the quiet certainty of your heart. Every breath of gratitude, every moment of trust, every choice to live as though abundance is already yours. These are the commands that money obeys. Let this wisdom settle deeply into your being. The universe's response matches your energetic signature. When you emanate love, appreciation, and faith, you activate universal laws that govern prosperity. Money, in its highest truth, simply obeys the energy you consistently maintain. Remember, you are not here to chase abundance, but to be abundance itself. In this awareness lies the ultimate freedom.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.